Hey guys, Swamp Things here. It is I, the man, the myth, the not so legend for you all here on YouTube. Season 7 has arrived. So let's talk about it. Well, when I first started this video, I was obviously in a different shirt, not a different hat, because I really didn't know what to say in terms of talking about Season 7. I was at a loss, and now it's the next day over. It's Monday. I started the video Sunday, now we're here Monday. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes there's so much going on that I just don't know what to say. I don't really know how to collect my thoughts in terms of bringing content to you all, Apex Legends champions. So I went on Twitter and I asked, this is what I'm doing and I need some questions. And so for the only question that was asked, and is actually a very great question at that, is by Just Dan or at Dan Just _. And Just Dan said, what team do you think makes up the Season 7 meta? I feel like they've been so clear before, but I've seen a lot of diversity this time around. And that lit the light bulb, that turned on the switch, everything. So for me, it's exactly that question. What's the Season 7 meta? Because honestly, I haven't really identified it other than the Gibraltars that are running around the map. But I think Jibby is a kind of a shoo-in for every season. Jibby is a overpowered tank. He's a rhinoceros. He'll just charge right through you, and you put anything and everything at him, and he's just going to keep smiling. So, what is the meta? The meta for this, I think, are a lot of the jumpers, the grapplers, the grav lifters. This is the dawn of a new horizon, no pun intended. Or pun very intended. I think the meta right now are the people that can clear ground faster. I don't see a whole lot of caustics unless it's endgame, saying that they make it that far. I haven't ran into a whole lot of caustic players near the end of a match. Bloodhound is also a great legend, but not so highly used because of the space. Again, these legends are more endgame, so if you're thinking more endgame and you're just kind of gonna snake and rat it out with your teammates until the final circles, then great, get the Bloodhound. You got your caustics and you got your jibbies. I don't see a whole lot of Watson mains this season in ranked and pubs. One thing, like I mentioned before, the Octanes, the Pathfinders, the Horizons, the Wraiths, the Lobas, this is their time to shine. This is our time to shine because yes, I am an Octane main. And I think that if we utilize these legends more, you're going to see a meta shift. If you have someone that runs a good flank, like a Loba, like a Wraith, Path, Octane, then without a doubt, you're going to be a surefire winning squad. Because if you have one flanker, then you have someone like Jibby, not really a Bangalore. Bangalore is actually not as useful as I thought she would be with her smoke because it's such a small perimeter, but definitely one of the legends that I described before, like Wraith, Path, Octane, Loba, and Horizon, right? It's key to have one of those guys on your squad, someone that knows how to run them proficiently. Then if you're looking at like a Gibraltar, again, great, and even a Watson. Watson is so underutilized this season. It's just crazy. KC was so just packed with them, Watsons, caustics, and jibbies. Now, the Season 7 meta, again, going back to that question, Dan, thank you again for commenting on the tweet that I did send out. And just to put it on pause for a second, this is something that I would like to do more often. So if you have a moment, head on over to my Twitter after this video, or even right now, put it on pause. Head on over to my Twitter, make sure you're following me, because I'm going to be doing more engagement with the people that are following me on my Twitter. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch as well, because I stream pretty much Monday to Saturday, either by myself or I get into the arena with my wife, and we just grinded rank tonight, and it was a really fun time. So if that's something that interests you, then definitely drop me a follow. Again, Twitch TV/The Swamp Things, and Twitter @ThinkSwamp. All the links will be in the description below. Now, getting back to it. Season 7, there really is no definitive meta at all. It's kind of, we've all journeyed to this spot, which is the middle of the other planned season. So we're kind of in the middle spot. It's not really a purgatory because it's fresh, it's new, it's different, it feels good, the map is awesome. But there is really no definitive meta like we've seen in the past. And I think this is frustrating a lot of players. And so it's really comes down to how well you know your legend, how well you can control your legend and pilot their abilities to shift the fights in your favor, rather than rather than relying on their abilities. Now it's time to think outside the box. Now it's time to use their abilities in ways that you haven't used before, in methods that may be counterintuitive to the gunfight itself. Like me, I'm an Octane main, and I get a lot of heat. So go ahead and feel free to comment below about me being an Octane main. It won't hurt my feelings. But for someone like myself, being an Octane main, I've always had to think outside the box with him, because again, he has a stim shot, not useful for your squad, and he has a jump pad that is useful for your squad, but not always the first go-to, especially if you have a Pathfinder, pardon me. So it's thinking outside the box, knowing how to use his jump pad in certain situations, rather than just using it to jump onto objects and buildings and whatnot, or go over for a up and over flank. Now, so the Season 7 meta, for me, this is going to sound very weird, but the Season 7 meta is you, the player, and how you can achieve the best results with your abilities to pilot your legend. That's the Season 7 meta. Of course, you're gonna find Jibbies throwing their airstrikes and Bangalores and Caustics, but right now in Season 7 on Olympus, it's really anybody's game. Now, that's gonna change if you're grinding ranked. That's gonna change definitely when you go back to World's Edge. But for me, I think the Season 7 meta is you, the player. Not necessarily the legends that can offer a handicap to push your fights, to eliminate targets. So now it's getting creative, and maybe it was unintentional for the devs to do this. Maybe it was intentional for the devs to do this. Like, hey, let's shake things up. Create a map that's so big that there really is no definitive meta. That could be a theory. I don't know. I don't know the devs personally, but I see this a lot. There's more even high skilled players from KC World's Edge coming over to Olympus and World's Edge. I don't see a gap that is so high now, whereas before you'd see players that are reliant on their gun abilities and even their legend abilities. Now, it's not that they nerfed and buffed and all this other crap that is bringing some people at advantages, some people at disadvantages. I just think that because there's so many variables to this map, you really have to think on the fly, but also think out of the box and keep yourself uncontained in a way that has never been seen in Apex Legends before. So for me, the answer to that, Dan, is the Season 7 meta is really the individual player and how they can fit the pieces of the puzzle together with their other teammates, whoever it may be. But I see the map in general favoring those that can get around, like Pathfinder, Octane, Wraith, Horizon, and Loba. So this map is definitely a flanker's paradise. So with that being said, again, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. Thank you, Dan, for the question. And drop Dan a follow as well. He's a great guy and always supporting the journey. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see everybody later.